Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us. In this video, we're going to be talking about something very interesting in the insurance industry that I wanted to discuss for a long time. And we get approached by these people, and we always get this question all the time when we're hiring somebody to come to our organization. And also, if you ever worked in a mall or walked in a mall, you might have been approached by somebody that asked you, hey, you look really amazing. What do you do? Blah, blah, blah. You know, that they pretend they're interested in you, and then all of a sudden, what do they pop up? The question, hey, would you be interested in coming to a financial literacy class or a seminar and so on and so forth? It's an amazing thing. You know, the worst thing can happen to you. You can learn something, right? And all of a sudden, you find yourself in a room where they're pitching you multi-level marketing. Yes, we're going to be talking about multi-level marketing companies, especially in the insurance industry, because we are in the insurance industry. So we want to talk about those in the insurance industry. And I can guarantee you, every one of them operates the same way. One way or another, they're exactly the same. The way the system works, the way the recruiting works, the way that everything works is identical. The only thing they do is change the products and services, and voila, you have something different. Okay? So before we do, please make sure you guys are following us. Click that subscribe button so that way you can get notifications of our next videos that are coming up, because I'm going to be cutting this video into 5 parts so you can get notified to the next one that comes out. Now, with that said, let's get into it. Now, first I'm going to be talking about the first video, first one. We're going to be talking about the 3. What are those top 3 that are in the industry of insurance? We're going to talk about what are they and what's multi-level marketing. Now, those 3 that I'm going to mention, and of course, all the information, guys, we've received and we've got from internet, and some of the thing is verified by some of the agents that they have, and some of them are verified through, let's say, AI deep dive to get all the information that's out there about these companies, right? So we're going to be sharing this information with you guys. And if there is any errors, let us know, because we will correct it. If we mislead something, hey, we will correct that. But if we miss something, you can always add it to that. We can add it to our future videos as well. Now, what is these companies, right? What are the top 3 companies? Well, the top 3 in multi-level marketing and insurance are, we have WFG, which I used to be part of from 2000 to 2007 or 8, more or less. And then we have Primerica. And then, of course, last but not least, we have PHP, which is the underdog. They are actually aggressively coming in, and we're going to be discussing their recruiting goals and recruitments and so on and so forth. Now, what do these companies have in similarities, right? They're very similar. They have a system that they work with. They're highly recruiting. They're highly focused on recruiting. They're not about selling as much as they're recruiting, because most of their energy in those teams that you get hired, their energy is spent on recruiting. So they're a recruiting company, and they're a multi-level marketing company that brings in people, and you have to bring people in. And how do you get promoted is the same exact way as recruiting. Somebody to go in and become an agent. It's going to be nearly impossible for you to get promoted with just your numbers. If you do, it's going to be, on your part, and we'll discuss it, how stupid it'll be, because when you're producing that extreme levels, you'll be making 3 to 4 times the money that they're paying you to do. So we're going to be talking a little bit more about those types of things, as far as what their structure is, on the next video, and how it works as well. But in simplicity, of course, a lot of people, and I'll be fair with this, and a lot of people, let's say, on the internet might call these companies fraud, might call this companies a pyramid scheme, and they're not a pyramid scheme, because number one, the reason why they're not a pyramid scheme is because if you come in, let's say, for example, I was in the business, and then I recruited you, and then you came in, you can actually go above me because of your production, because of your recruiting, and so on and so forth. You can actually be above me, and I can stay here. Or I can even quit and then no longer in the business, and you have my business as well. Now, in a true pyramid, right? If you have a true pyramid, what happens? You should not be able to climb up, right? You're at the lower chain of the food chain, and no matter what you do, you're not going to climb because there's the pyramid. That's a true pyramid. And I always, to be fair, I always look at corporate America versus, let's say, independent agencies or, let's say, MLM marketing. That is a core meaning of pyramid as far as like being in a corporate world, because you cannot go above your manager if you're performing well. Yeah, until he or she gets fired, right? Until then, you're not going to be able to obtain the same position. Or, if you worked hard, the company says, oh, if you meet this standards, then you're going to be the same manager, or you can manage a different team with the same person, right? So there's no such thing. The person has to go away or get promoted for you to go up. You cannot become the CEO. You cannot make as much money as the CEO. But in these companies, you can possibly make more money than the person that's above you. Right? So it's not a true pyramid, but it exists, right? Everything that we do, there's a chain of command. There is no such thing as no chain of command. You still have to answer somebody. If you're even by yourself, you have to still answer to the carriers because they are controlling your money, your structure, your, let's say, for example, the guidelines and things like that what you can say or what you can advertise. Still, you have to abide by their compliances. So, in that sense, it's not a fraud. It's not, they're not doing anything wrong. Their structure might be done in a way to take advantage of individuals. Let's say, for example, recruiting. If you're recruiting, you're not making money, and then they're making money. Then there's something wrong, right? So there's a lot of companies that they don't have products. With these three, they do have products. You can either sell it or you can buy it, right? So in true pyramid schemes, there's no product. The product is you. So meaning that you join and you're the one who buys because it's impossible to sell to others. There's a lot of companies like that actually got sued and got shut down because it was truly, in that sense, fraud, because there is nothing else to sell because it's impossible to sell certain things that you have. And the only person they focus on is they recruit, you buy their products, and then at the end of the day, guess what happens? You have nobody else to sell it other than your family because you're not trained to become a professional. You're not trained to be successful. You're trained to become a recruiter because the goal in this company is the recruiting. Recruiting. These companies, if there's a recruiting company out there, do you guys want to know how to recruit? You should go into this company for this multi-level marketing for 3 months, 4 months. You become an expert in recruiting because their talents are focused on recruiting. When it comes to sell, that's a different story because as far as their training goes, and I've been there for 7 years, and most of our trainings, which we did every month and every week, 4 times a month, literally the only thing you used to get trained on is motivation, your goals, your motivation, and your goals. And it just consistently the same topic. We had the same people talking about the same exact thing for months and months and months. And if you're there for 7 years, you already memorized the script. You already memorized everything, right? And that's their goal, is to recruit and to market products. Simple their job, simple structure. And they have and we're going to talk about what system they have and why they do that, right? So those structures are there in a sense, but they're not fraud. We got to clarify this. And once we move to the next topic, which is the structure, then you guys see why I'm telling you why they're just a recruiting machine, why they cannot survive without recruiting. Without the people, these companies don't exist as far as if you're not recruiting recruiters, not production. Because when it comes to production, in the next videos, you'll see that it does not make sense. Because these people that they're recruiting, they're not going to be, they're not savvy. They're not salespeople. They're not in any way ready to do what they need to do in the financial field or in the insurance field, because they are clueless as you can be after 1 year, after 2 years. And if you don't believe, if I'm wrong, comment. Maybe 1 out of 100 or 1 out of 1,000 might know anything about anything. Then I will say, yes, 1 out of 1,000, I agree with you. But other than that, No, there is no education. There is no nothing in that sense. So that's what they focus on, is the recruiting. And they go on recruit. They have the levels. They have, all that stuff that goes up and down. And that's the bread and butter for them. With that said, I'm going to be ending it here. So the next video, we're going to be talking about their structures. So stay tuned. Make sure you catch us on the next one. Thank you, and see you guys in a little bit.